So if you're a Windows user, let's be honest, 2025 was, well, it was a bit of a bumpy ride, wasn't it? I mean, between the buggy updates and this relentless push for AI, it was a tough year for Windows 11. But now it looks like Microsoft is making a huge promise for 2026. So what exactly went wrong? And how are they planning to win us back? Let's dive in and break it all down. So here's the big question that's been flying around the internet. Is Windows 11 the latest bad version of Windows? There's this old joke that every other Windows release is a hit. And right now, a lot of people are putting Windows 11 squarely in the miss category. And over this past year, that feeling really started to set in. And look, this isn't just a few people complaining on a forum somewhere. For a huge chunk of the user base, 2025 just became this year of growing frustration with the direction Windows was taking. So what were the specific things causing all this heat? Okay, so when you boil it all down, the complaints really landed in three main buckets. First, you've got the constant stream of buggy updates that, let's face it, often seem to cause more problems than they fixed. Second, there's a term users started throwing around, enshittification. Basically, adding features that don't really help you, the user, but definitely benefit the company, like pushy ads or forced software. And finally, just this general feeling that Microsoft wasn't treating its crown jewel, its most important product, with the care it really deserved. And that brings us to the real elephant in the room, AI. Microsoft went all in, betting the farm that AI was the future of everything. The only problem? That vision didn't quite line up with the reality for the people actually using the software every single day. And this is where you can really see the massive disconnect. On one hand, you had Microsoft hyping up this amazing future of an agentic platform, all powered by incredible AI. But on the other hand, almost every single time they brought it up, the reaction from the public was just intensely negative. Users just weren't buying what they were selling. So all this negative feedback just kept building and building until, you guessed it, it finally hit a tipping point. A point where Microsoft's leadership just couldn't look away anymore. And I want to be clear here, we are not talking about a few grumpy comments. This was a wave, a tidal wave, really, of just overwhelming, widespread, and very, very public frustration with where the company was headed. I mean, how intense did it get? It got so bad that the head of Windows himself, Pavan Davuluri, put out a tweet about the vision for an AI-powered platform, and the backlash was so fast, so severe, that he literally had to turn off the replies. Yeah, that's the moment you know it's not just internet noise anymore, it's a full-blown crisis. Okay, so your user base is basically in open revolt. What do you do? Well, Microsoft finally had to step up and respond. And this wasn't some quiet internal memo, this was a public acknowledgement and a promise to change course. And what did they say? Their exact words were that they heard the feedback loud and clear. After months and months of complaints, this was the company's first big public step toward trying to fix this broken relationship with its users. And Pavan Davuluri himself followed up with this really key statement. The part that jumps out at me, the crucial phrase here is meaningful for people. It's not just about saying, yeah, we heard you. It's a commitment to making changes that actually matter to users, which hints at a shift away from those company-first features. So what does this promise actually look like in practice? Well, the plan for 2026 is pretty much a back-to-basics playbook. They want to tackle those specific pain points we've all felt and really focus on the fundamentals, making Windows faster, more stable, and, just better to use. It's pretty much exactly what people have been asking for. But, a promise is one thing, actually delivering on it is a whole other ballgame. Acknowledging the problem was a massive first step, for sure, but the real test is whether Microsoft can actually follow through and win back all the trust they've lost. And let's not kid ourselves, the stakes here are incredibly high. To put it bluntly, the feeling around Windows right now is at a long-term low. This isn't just a small dip in popularity. We're talking about a serious erosion of goodwill that is going to be really, really hard to fix. And just to give you an idea of the sheer scale of this challenge, look at this number. That's over 1 billion. Microsoft isn't trying to win back some small niche community here. They have to convince over 1 billion users that they're serious about making Windows a product people actually want to use again, not just one they have to. Which really leaves us with the million-dollar question for 2026, doesn't it? Microsoft says they've heard us, they've heard the complaints, and they've promised to focus on the core experience. But in a world where trust is broken so easily and is so hard to rebuild, will just fixing the fundamentals be enough to win everyone back? I guess only time will tell.